Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Check it out. Today we are doing a big old robot lawnmower. This is the SunSeeker Orion X7, wireless and robotic. You don't need to put anything in the ground. It uses GPS and vision and all that stuff. This is going to be exciting. This is the first robot mower I have reviewed. So hang in there, come along, let's unbox this, put it together, see what it's all about, configure it. There should be an app and really just see what it can do. So just a real quick box read, and that's going to be for the specs, right? So it's got a 20 volt 5.0 AH battery. Cutting width is 14 inches, dual cutting plate. It can do a 28-degree incline slope or 53%. Wireless, boundary free, so there's not going to be any wire you have to put in. Here's the dimensions, and it weighs about 30 pounds. Anyway, let's open this thing up and see what we got. We're just gonna see what it's all about when we get this thing out and start mowing it. All right, so packaged well. Wow, look at this. This sucker is beefy. Look at these little knobby tires here. Wow. So this uses an RTK GPS module. You see this? And that's why it can be super accurate in the field without using any wires or anything you have to put in the ground. It uses its vision and this GPS. You see how it says RTK on here? What that does is it kind of creates like a base station, and it triangulates the coordinates via the GPS on the robot here and the really precise GPS on the base station here, like up to centimeter accuracy. So that's why these things can be so precise now, and they're using this new kind of GPS technology. RTK functionality, Wi-Fi, S-Link, and power. We have these two accessory boxes. Like to see everything we get. A power cord. We got a couple more boxes here. Let's see what these are all about. The same power brick here. You see how it's exactly the same as that other one that we connected to the RTK module. And this is going to be what's going to charge the actual robot. Basically use the same charger for both the mower and part of your RTK kit. And there we go. Quick little manual. I like color, pictures, shows you everything. Awesome. So it looks fairly simple to get started here. Ground pegs. This is cool. Look at this, like a home plate, right? Charging station. Basically, these are like little Roombas. They're like little vacuums that you have in your house. They're all robotic, automatic. It starts getting low on power. It seeks out this charging station. It remembers where it is, and it goes and it charges itself. Isn't that awesome? Metal stakes and looks like concrete anchors, so we can stick that in the ground or mount it on like concrete or a wall or something if we need to on our house. A little bit more hardware, some screws and little metal. Oh, these are the blades. Wow, look at these. They just look like little razor blades. And then over here we have an even thicker manual. So yeah, that was a quick start guide that we first took out. And this is the main book. So this is the one you're going to be really reading up on everything and getting started, making sure we know what to do with this. And it's not that heavy. Wow. I thought it was going to be a lot heavier. It does only feel like about, just as it is, it just feels like about 20, 30 pounds. These little blades are just swinging around here, and those just spin, and the blades just cut. A little bit of suspension there, and the little swivel wheel on the back. This looks like it's motorized, actually. These are also motorized. Power, start, home, okay. Little screen there. It's going to be an LCD screen. A stop. So you hit that, no matter what it's doing, it will just stop, apparently. A nice handle back here for gripping and carrying the thing around. Oh, neat. So here's our sensors. It's covered with some protective plastic. Just gonna pull that off. 2 sensor cameras. Looks like for obstacle avoidance. So drone technology and robot technology coming into autonomous lawnmowers is so awesome. Packed again very well. Nothing's gonna be breaking here because they really support everything and pack everything well. So this is interesting. This is like the charge mat. It's going to be coming in and looking for this, apparently. Slips right on here vertically. Looking at it from the front. So I'm just pushing that in. And that's where we're plugging in. Remember that second charger wall brick has the same type of plug as the RTK module. That's about it. So anyway, I'm going to charge this thing up. We're going to download the app and we're going to get this thing going and see how it works. There we go. My phone recognizes it. I've got a Google phone, so there it is. Robotic mower technology. That's the one that it says to install. So let's go ahead and give that an install, about 59 megabytes. So it looks like we're going to be scanning the mower. So let's just go ahead and open the app up here. I just like to walk you guys through this stuff so you know what's going on. Agree. United States, yes. Don't have an account yet? Sign up now. So just go ahead and make an account with an email, verify that, and make sure you are good to go. I'm just going to try to use my Google account, and it should be an easy process. Easy with the phone, right? Because you're already logged into Google and stuff. Allow precise GPS while using app. We need to add a device here, and it's going to want to access your camera. And now it's looking for this QR code on the mower. Okay, welcome to use robotic mower. Check all parts. Okay, cool. Gives you a little layout on the screen that we already went over. Make sure you have all the parts. Lay flat on the outdoor lawn and press the power button for approximately 2 seconds to turn on. So this is where you're going to need to be outside, guys. And I'm not. As you can see, I'm in my garage. Let's get this thing over to the lawn I'm going to mow, and we'll finish the setup. Since I'm not going to be close to a home, I'm going to actually bring a power station and plug all this into a power station. This will be a great example if you can just run it all off of a power station. Let's give it a try. Okay guys, so here is the test bed. Shorter grass, longer grass that's a little bit wet still. This is like a big fat anchor power station. Okay, so this should be pretty self-explanatory. Just flip up the antenna, crank this thing down. So if you didn't have a roof to set it on, this is how you're setting this thing up. There's a little groove here that you can put this cord in. Power button, 1, 2. There we go. Insert recognition plate into slot. Okay, I've already done that in the unboxing. Okay, swiping to the right, connect power adapter. So we just did that. I have the power station on over there. All the power cables are in. Finish assemble. Place the charging station near a location with a strong Wi-Fi signal. So let's see if it works if my phone's in hotspot mode. Do not install on slopes, no obstacles with a 60-inch radius. No more than 4 inches of grass should be in front of the charging station. That's definitely not 4 inches. It's maybe 2 or 3, so that looks like it should be good. So it looks like it's not going to mow this area, right? So if you have long grass, put this somewhere where it's short. And I already fixed the charging pegs to the ground. Awesome. Finish installation. Top of your roof, you have on the side of your roof, so you have a good 100 degree of the sky on this antenna over here. And then this is what I'm going to be doing, is installing it just like this on the ground. I think I'm going to move this base station within that 60-inch swath right here real quick. So you want to make sure that antenna is right up at 90. Swiping over. Yeah, so don't put it like right next to a fence or a wall. Power flashing, and I have a GPS location locked. Finish installation, guys. Place on the charging station and the green light on the charging stand will flash. Just slide it in. It's flashing green. Enter the default password on the mower and tap OK button. Okay. Default password is 0000, 4 zeros, guys. So basically just pressing OK 4 times. You can change that to make it not zeros if you want, it looks like. Let's just see if we can leave it at all zeros. Connecting, please wait. So we have a percentage up on the screen. All right, so we got a serial number, robot password. I'm just gonna leave it at 4 zeros. All right, so this is where we're gonna need to connect to our Wi-Fi. So if you're at home, you can connect to your home Wi-Fi. Okay, we're gonna press connect after we put in the password and everything. All right, router connection successful. So that means my hotspot on my phone Just putting out wireless signal for all this to work. Check this out, firmware update and RTK station firmware update has a little red dot. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that while it's charging. Update now, downloading firmware. So a perfect time to do all this stuff, kind of like the drones I review. Always recommend it to just update to the latest firmware. And it's great that you can charge this while it's thinking and doing all this stuff. Part of firmware upgrade failed. That's no good. Yikes. Let's try that one more time. Update now. Let's try that update one more time, see if it completes. Update complete, restarting. Okay, good. So good to know. If it fails once, just try again. Don't give up. And it looks like that one did it. So the whole mower is restarting. You see how we have those same startup lights. Now we have our charge indicator back. Let's see if it reconnects to Wi-Fi. Yep, Wi-Fi just connected. Good. Firmware successful on the screen. Let's just do automatic updates. Let's turn that on right there. Okay, good. So mower is updated. I want to try this RTK update. RTK station offline, so this is interesting. Okay guys, so it looks like I got the base station to acknowledge now. All it was, for some reason it lost its pairing when I switched to the Wi-Fi. Here's what I did. If you go settings up here on the top right, then you go more settings down below, and you go base station connection. If it's doing that, just press the base station again and repair button down there. All right guys, well we're at 75%, just waited a few more minutes. Let's start mapping now. So what I noticed is if you do get too far away and it loses Bluetooth connection, it asks you to tap back on that Bluetooth there on the bottom right and make sure that you have a connection before you start this. So let's start mapping. Everything's connected, and check it out. It's basically verifying all the information on the mower, the RTK module, and everything before it even lets you get into this. If we press play on the right here, you can also do corridor, connecting two separate areas. That's neat. If you have a fence, a gate, and another yard, 2 yards separated, you can tell it to drive through the corridor, mow the other yard. So let's just try a working area here. All right, and this is what comes up. Learning the working area. So at least it gives you these instructions, which is great. Workspace defined by a virtual boundary that you create, and that's what we're gonna do by controlling it, I believe. You can modify map here. You guys can pause it and read my phone screen if you want to get more details. Interesting. Oh wow, okay. I just pressed got it and it's leaving the station. Let's see how we go here. Is the robot currently at the boundary? I'm gonna press no. And now we're gonna take over remote control, okay guys? So let's do this. So I'm just sliding my thumb and I'm gonna rotate it. That's as fast as it's moving. I have my thumb up pretty high. So let's go all the way past this little tall patch of grass. We'll start here. Stop, just taking off my thumb. Press play. Okay. Confirm working area again. Looks like you got to go through this again. Got it. Is it at the boundary? Yes. I guess this is where I kind of take over and I just start. It's going to just kind of record what I'm doing as its path. So here's where you want to kind of follow with it. It's going to take a while if you have a larger lawn to kind of map it. Remember, you need to stay next to the robot because also you have that Bluetooth, which doesn't seem to let you operate it without having that Bluetooth connection. See how it gets through this junk here? This is kind of thick grass at this angle. Ooh. Okay, that's going to be hard for it. So I'm going to go back. Let's see if we can do this at more of an angle. Okay, so it's detecting that that grass is too long. You see that? Let's come in at an angle here. Grass too long for it. So if you have grass that's over, 5 or 6 inches, guys, it's gonna have a hard time even mapping. Let's see if we can go around this. There we go. Let's see how it deals with that. Setting the perimeter. You can do little fine-tuned movements. If you just hold your thumb and kind of rotate your thumb left and right, you can kind of fine-tune it a little bit. Almost there. Boom. Stop. 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 Okay, for some reason it was stuck going forward. So this is where I'd like to see like Google Maps, guys. I'm not seeing that on the phone here. So we're idle ready. Let's go back here. That's the map that we just did. Can we rotate it? We can't rotate it, but we can zoom in and out. It's showing us the base station. Cool. Let's return to the charger. Out of working area. Let's move it back here. Interesting how reversing is kind of strange. Let's turn around. Let's try to get in the working area and return to the charger before I want to start, right? So there's our map. There we go. So that's kind of weird. You have to be within the working area for it to return the charger. So I just pressed return to charger. Let's see how it deals with this. It's slowing down. It's going to be turning and looking for its base station. Let's see how accurate and in line this thing is. This will be kind of interesting. Fine tuning, looking for that icon. Okay. Boom. Let it charge back up to at least 75, if not 80% again. And then we'll start that map we just created. While we're waiting for this to charge, I thought you might want to know how much power this thing takes. What are we at? 75% now. It's been about 10 minutes, maybe 15. It's only pulling 32 watts, 37, maybe up to 40. Let's just back off the charger here real quick. And I want to see how much it's taking. You see that? You want to get off your charger. Apparently the RTK module isn't even taking enough power for it to show up on the registration on the power station. There's nothing there. Let's get it back on the charger again. Slide down, press return. Back on the charger, and we're back up to 38 watts. So this thing must be pulling less than a watt since it doesn't even register, which is really good to know since a lot of people are going to be mounting this on their house and they're going to want to know how much this pulls. Barely anything. We have a 237-minute run time or working time on the top right of the app. And then on the left top, we have a working area, which is the map layout, the perimeter I did, calculating it to be 829 meters squared. Here we go. First attempt. We're going to press play and let's see what it does. Immediately leaving station graphic. This is the first run, so crossing my fingers. That was interesting. Okay. So it's turning around. Just had a little beep. Wow. So it's actually, that's as quiet as that thing is. It says working mowing. So apparently it is mowing, guys. It's just so quiet, I can't believe it. Anyway, that's it, mowing. Let's see how it deals with this big old clump. Yeah, it mowed that. Okay, I just have it set a little high. Yeah, it definitely is cutting and it is working though. Went through kind of a thicker patch of grass there. I'll let you guys look at a little comparison. So cut and uncut. So yeah, that is working. I want to stand right in front of it. And I want to see if it goes around me. What are you gonna do, dude? Look at this, guys. First-hand experience. It's going around me as an obstacle. Very cool. I'm just gonna stand here and see what it does. So it changed its map to go around me. Look at this. So it's kind of like probably mapping me as an obstacle. and then it's going to continue on its route. There it goes. Awesome. With no input from me whatsoever. All right, it's been running for 5 of 237 minutes. So this is going to take a while. You can kind of see what it has cut and what it's getting into right now. You know, if you have a yard that's this big, just expect it to be like an all-day thing for this little guy. Seems like if it detects too tall of grass, watch what it does. Let's just get it right on camera here. It detects it and then it tries to go around it because it thinks it's an obstacle. It seems like even at the higher grass setting, it's going to have a limitation. It just is kind of picky at its grass level. I'm pretty sure it's going to do that again right here. Boop, yep, that high patch of grass doesn't want anything to do with it, so it swings its rear end around and then just turns around. Interesting. Weed eat these or mow these higher grass patches. This is just to maintain lawn, not at all to mow higher patches. Yeah, at least we figured that out and saw it in action on what it does. I think it's going back to its charge station now. Let it get another charge. Seems like it's automating and charging fine though. Going into its charge dock, A-OK. We still got a lot ways more to go. We're not even halfway done yet. So that's kind of the reason I'm saying you might want to get the larger battery version, because even though they say it can do 3/4 of an acre, it seems like it might not even be able to do that on one battery charge. Be it that, I remember I was only at 78% power when we started this whole thing after I put it back on the charger. So I'm gonna let it charge up for a while and see if we can possibly finish this. This is gonna take a really long time. So this is kind of one of them mowers that you're just gonna wanna put on a program. After you set it all up, you're just going to let it do its thing like daily or every few days or something like that. You go into settings, you scroll all the way down and you see the schedule here. So this is where you're going to adjust your schedule. So you just click on that arrow. You can do a global, a zone schedule. You can edit all your times. We can edit the time for that map, add a schedule. There we go. That's how we add our schedules. So pretty in-depth for adding all the schedules. I was wondering how to do that, and there you go. While this thing's doing another recharge, I wanted to check out what it's charging at, and this is kind of interesting. Almost twice as much now. We're at like 60, over 60 watts. So that's kind of what I was wondering, is when the battery's lower, if it gives it a little bit more wattage, and it does. It looked like it checked the software and saw that it was low on battery and started returning now that it's 15%. Wow, there we go. Looks like the lights turned a little yellow. They were white before. It's gonna pop itself in there. You know, if you have a not too big of a lawn and it's really well maintained, this will maintain it for you. Tell me your thoughts on the SunSeeker, and tell me if this is something you'd get if your lawn was well manicured and it was just like a redundant kind of maintenance lawnmower that couldn't really do any heavy lifting but just kept your lawn manicured how you wanted. Don't have to think about it once you program it. That was kind of cool. Pretty easy to set up. Takes a little while to link it up, but once you're set, you won't really have to worry about this anymore, especially if you mount this on your house. Okay guys, so you may have thought this review is over, but guess what? I decided to set this up at my small little yard in the back of my house. I originally wasn't going to do this just because it was so small. There's a bunch of these trees everywhere. It's close to the house, but I decided to just try it. This was the only spot next to the house that it would pick up GPS signal enough. Right over here, just got it staked in the ground, wires running along the outside of the fence. So that's going to be probably the hardest part of this whole setup at your house, is finding the spot where the GPS signal is good enough. These plugs are supposed to be waterproof, so I wouldn't worry about, you know, rain and water getting on them. You're probably watching the park video and like, wait a minute, we want to see how it works at a real house. So here you go. Now this is not the best lawn. It's kind of bumpy. It's got hills and slopes. So I'll show you real quick. If you guys did just want to like manually drive it and cut your grass, when you're in the main screen here with your map or whatever you're doing, you just drag up from the bottom and you can actually back it off the base with just your thumb. Remember, you hit it once and it just backs up like that 60 inches. I was a little confused at this. This is just a whole manual screen right here. You're gonna choose your cut height. So I'm gonna go inches. So I'm gonna confirm a 3-inch height. And then all you do is your cutting rotation speed here is I'm gonna go, you can go lower, high, confirm. Remote control will mow at the current speed, confirm. So to do this, you have to be like right next to the mower for the Bluetooth on your device to link to it. Otherwise, it won't let you control it. Once you start moving slowly, remember pushing forward and left and stuff, those blades are gonna start spinning. So if I just wanna manually mow a little area, I can do that. If you wanna be entertained and do it like this, you can. So just wanted to show you that as a little bit of an option there. So that's kind of what I did over here, is just to clear the base station of any tall grass right there, is I just manually mowed it here. And remember, we did that in the field where you just basically create your map, everything's linked up, and then you're just driving it along the perimeter. So I just drove it along this perimeter, avoiding the trees, even coming down into the gravel and back up here. And so that's my perimeter, and this is the map right here. It's saying it's only a 54 square meter working area, and it's only going to take 15 minutes to mow. Let's get back to the power station. So perfect spot for it. It gets good GPS signal. It's not too slanted. It was kind of hard. You're just going to have to search around and look for the best locations. In order for it to be the correct cut height, you need to go into your settings, and remember, you have the zones or the global settings, and just remember that since I only have one map, I'm just going to make it global. Like, so for all of my maps I make, I have it set to 3 inches, and here's where you change that. And we're going to just start this program. Same thing like at the park. Once you start, it backs up, so we'll see what it runs into, if it has any trouble with trees. And it says it's only going to take 15 minutes, so I want to start a stopwatch real quick. So here's the difference between 2-inch and 3-inch. As you can see, the 3-inch, that's just a little bit too high. I mean, it still looks pretty messy. Here's the difference anyway, between 2-inch and 3-inch. There's our buddy coming by. And the good thing is I can adjust it. Maybe I'll let it run on this 3-inch, maybe bring it down to like 2.5. So you can just keep doing it, you know, keep going shorter. It's not really showing where the machine is. So hopefully they can do some updates. It does show the green area filling in though as it makes its rounds. So maybe the second or third time it does it, it'll make it in that 15 minutes, but there's no way we're at 15:10. So, but this is how it's really working. Let's just let it do its thing. All right guys, so one beer and a little bit of hammock time later, these are the results. There's still like a lot of high spots, and I don't know if like these kinds of things we're getting in the camera view, even though it's just a little tiny, easily mowable blade. The perimeter is actually supposed to go all the way down here, but it didn't want to go down this hill. I actually made the perimeter come a little bit in the gravel all the way around here, around these little tufts here, and go back up to the base station, you can see what it did. So I don't know why it stopped and avoided these areas. Would have been great if it tried a little harder. We were just about 30 minutes. So yeah, definitely twice as much as it thought. And it went down to like 77%. We already used just about 25% on this tiny thing. Just for the sake of this review, I want to get this grass down to 2 inches. Maybe it'll try to get over here to this area. It seems like that's not too much of a slope to do. I don't know, maybe it thought it was a drop off from the sensors or something. Definitely more stuff they can improve. This is just really how it works in this tiny little yard. But I'm just gonna kind of cut this stuff down to a manageable 4-inch and then see if it will actually attempt to come around and cut this stuff where it hasn't before. Okay guys, well, what a plethora of information, and boy, does that lawn look horrible when you're looking at it from the drone, right? Interesting stuff here. So as soon as I went ahead and weeded that taller grass around the edges, you can see that on the map, it really tried to squeeze and hug the edges. So it seems to me like this isn't kind of like a one and done review. You need to use it a couple times and let it kind of learn your area, and it just keeps like pushing the limits a little more and a little more and going further and further. I have it on fine tuning. Cutting direction is standard. I'm just going to show you all these settings here real quick. Cutting rotation speed is high, give you more of a precise cut. And then remember, we went down to 2 inches, and if you want your lawn to look really nice, you got to go down low, or else it just looks kind of scraggly. You got to get that grass down, or else it's just going to think it's an obstacle. I know I keep saying that, but that's very important. So it did a really good job. I mean, for a small lawn like this, I thought it was going to have trouble with all these trees we see around us, the house right here, but you can get it to work in a tiny lawn like this. It seems like it really does try to get all the way up to those edges. I'm not sure what's going on around here in this bottom area where that slope is. It seems like it's still being a little bit cautious here. So I would like to see, you know, over time, if it ventures a little further down in this area, deeming it safer and safer. And that seems to be what it does. So guys, they have two models of this thing. They have the 0.75 acre, 3/4 acre that I have, or they have the 1.5 acres, which is basically just a bigger battery. This one here is going for, I think, 2,400, and then the 1.5 acres, which is double the battery size, is going for about 3,000, about 29. We'll probably have some sales. If you're interested in the SunSeeker Orion X7, go ahead and check below, down here, down the description, below this video, and you can find it. I think they said they're going to give me like a deal, a percentage off for you guys that watch my video and want a discount. So as always, go ahead and check that down below. That was fun. That was a lot of information. The pros and cons are going to be, you know, you basically saw them all. Needs a little bit work on the app. There's a little bit confusion going on there. Once you kind of figure it out, and definitely read the instructions, it works good. The main thing, like I was saying, is placement. So you need to place your base station where you're going to have GPS signal from the sky. You need to place your RTK antenna where you're also going to have a clear view of the sky. But it will work even in a wooded area like this. I mean, this is like right on the edge. You see that house right there? So apparently it's getting enough satellites to do all its RTK real-time correction function. That's the hardest part of the setup, is finding locations, running the cables, and you're set. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.